Welcome everybody, YouTube,
Wait,
Facebook.
are we live?
We are live.
Oh, shit. Alright, so this is the return of podcast Legend Killers. For those that saw our last episode live, you already know what went down. And for those that don't remember, well, don't even worry about it. We're back. Season 2, Episode 1, Clean Slate. Me and Jay Wyatt are back.
You forgot. I am no longer called Jay
Oh,
White. The Mohawk is gone. Everything about Jay White is dead. I am now simply Jordan, the wrestling fanatic. You can applaud.
the old me's dead and gone, dead and gone.
Anyhow,
Okay.
ladies and
Alright.
gentlemen, it is WrestleMania season. So, this
Yes.
episode will include my indie shenanigans. But
Yes.
don't sweat it. I remember the only video where I managed to even break 400 views was only talking about WWE. That means you guys do not give a rat's ass about my indie talk. But as an indie fan, I will continue to talk about it. Just not as much as you expect. Also, if you want to skip my Jordan the Wrestling Fanatic babbles about indie wrestling, you can click on the annotations under you and skip straight to the WWE. That way you don't have to hear me babble anymore. But,
Yep.
Eddie, any thoughts or name changes for you as well?
First off, ignore my picture. MC Kid doesn't exist. Neither does Royce Blaze. Just Eduardo Betancourt, the Edster, whatever names he has given me in the past.
Eddie Gordo.
Eddie Gordo as well, and that's not just because I'm fat. It's also because of, well, Tekken. But anyway, before we get started, first off, rest in peace to El Hijo del Perro Aguayo. If for those that don't know, he's a pro wrestler that died in Mexico, and as on behalf of podcast Legend Killers, I'd just like to give our condolences.
And in the opinion of Jordan the Wrestling Fanatic, this was just a gruesome accident. So could you guys please stop blaming Rey Mysterio?
With that, all of that intact, I don't really know what else to say.
So let's get this show on the road. It's time for your favorite time of the podcast,
What
Indie
he
Talk.
said.
The video, the topic that I love the most, and what gives me the least views for my videos. I love it. Screw all of you people who don't have knowledge. Let's get it on the road. Oh yeah.
By the way, don't you guys just love my new microphone? You know.
Oh yes. Very clear, not fuzzy like the last accident. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, watch my video
Look up episode 1. Look up episode 1. That was definitely an example of my worst quality. So
yes, we're just gonna improve as the time goes on now. Just keep rolling.
Why keep rolling? Come on, keep rolling.
All right. We don't have time for this. Let's
move
get on.
in and move out. Back up, back down. Oh wait, I got that wrong. Go ahead.
Yeah, shut up. All right. True. So, March the 27th, Samoa Joe versus Jay Briscoe for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Now, since this is Super Card of Honor, and there are various talks of Samoa Joe eventually going to NXT, which I kind of believe because Samoa Joe is known for going where the money is and who offers him the most money. And since it's no secret that Triple H wants Samoa Joe in NXT, I think he's going to do it, have his little run in the indie circuit, have a little run in Ring of Honor, a little reunion, and then go to NXT. What I think he should do is go to New Japan, but obviously that's not going to happen because he doesn't want to do what AJ Styles is doing, which is, leaving his family, going all the way to Japan, coming back and forth, back and forth. That might be too much travel for him. Anyhow, yeah, Samoa Joe versus Jay Briscoe.
Is it my
Now,
turn to speak?
do you want to speak or do you want me to keep going?
I don't know. I was just sort of waiting on you because you're
Oh,
kind of the ring. Go ahead.
all right. Yes, I am the wrestling fanatic. So here goes my big words again. Um, all right. Now there is a match happening, I believe, the week after next, in the beginning of April, or New Japan Pro Wrestling. I believe the name of the pay-per-view is Invasion Attack 2015. AJ Styles will be defending his IWGP. For those of you who don't know what IWGP stands for, it stands for International Wrestling Grand Prix, and it was created by Antonio Inoki, who is a Japanese legend, even praised
He was
by the likes of WWE.
inducted in 2010 for those that don't
Yep,
know.
even praised by the likes of WWE. So this belt is very prestigious and it was originally held recently, not recent, but it was held by Brock Lesnar in the mid 2000s when he had before his UFC run, a little after his WWE run.
Didn't AJ Styles recently hold that belt too, or am I thinking of something?
AJ Styles is now a two-time IWGP heavyweight champion and is your current IWGP heavyweight champion.
He was officially the second ever
He was
American,
the third
the third.
Gaijin to ever hold the IWGP.
Who was the first? Was it
Um,
Kurt Angle or was
Vader,
it Tensai? Vader? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Tensai never
Uh,
held the IWGP Heavyweight
mhm.
Championship, and Kurt Angle held. It was what you would call, like, it wasn't at the time. New Japan wasn't the match between New Japan and TNA wasn't sanctioned for unknown reasons, and the belt that Kurt Angle won from Brock Lesnar wasn't the official IWGP Heavyweight Championship. So if you look at history, Kurt Angle is not considered an actual IWGP Heavyweight Championship winner.
I see. Hmm.
Yeah. But
Okay.
anyway, week after next, New Japan Invasion Attack, AJ Styles versus crap, what's his um I got his name at the Kota Ibushi. Yes, AJ Styles versus Kota Ibushi for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. For those of you who don't know, Kota Ibushi, very good wrestler, uses a lot of mixed martial arts, high fly tech specialist, the Phoenix Splash. So check him out. One of his best matches recently was against Shinsuke Nakamura, Swagsuke at Wrestle Kingdom 9. And if you guys aren't like really sweating, I mean, don't really care for Japanese wrestling because of, obviously language barrier and all that, Wrestle Kingdom 9 did provide English commentary from Matt Stryker and Jim Ross. So check it out.
Hmm.
But onward, because I did tell you that I wasn't gonna cram your heads with indie wrestling knowledge or
And
international.
anything,
You go on ahead, Eddie.
I was just gonna say, anything JR gives commentary on is gonna be legendary.
Well,
So
that gives me, because I will tell you that I did order Wrestle Kingdom 9 and watched it twice. Just not just because it was Jim Ross and Matt Stryker, because first of all, it seemed like Matt Stryker was the head commentator throughout the show, and JR was just like enjoying him some good wrestling. But he did have a few markouts. For example, when he believes that Kazuchika Okada, who is a former IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and fun fact, he used to work for TNA before he became famous in Japan. Anyhow, JR believes that he has one of the greatest drop kicks and to date. So when he hit that drop kick, boy, you better believe that JR marked the hell out. That was as a wrestling fan, that made me like jump up. Like I like Okada's drop kick, like, and I noticed that it is one of the best to date. But I never marked out as much as I did when JR marked out at the drop kick. Like, who did he fight at Wrestle Kingdom 9? Oh yeah, Hiroshi Tanahashi. And for those of you who don't know, Hiroshi Tanahashi is the ace of New Japan, aka, to put it in a simpler words, he's the John Cena of New Japan Pro Wrestling. But
So
yeah,
he's bad?
no, he's a good wrestler, but he sells the most merchandise, has the biggest fan base,
Oh,
and
okay.
so on and so forth.
Uh-huh.
Again, week after next, AJ Styles versus Kota Ibushi for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Now, this isn't really indie talk, but I wanted to add it into it since we really don't have, we could add it in, but that would be a lot more time for another topic. So I'll just say it right now. We will now start talking about Lucha Underground, which has been on fire since episode 1.
From what I've seen and from what I've seen with Josh, even Josh will admit those are very cool matches. I remember watching a particular triple threat match with Phoenix. I can't remember the other two guys.
It
Phoenix
was
was one I
Phoenix
remember.
versus Drago versus I believe it was Aerostar, but don't take my word for it. But I believe it was Aerostar.
It was Phoenix Drago. I don't think it was Aerostar.
Was it Aerostar?
No, it
Was it
wasn't.
Superfly?
I think it may have been that guy. I can't remember. I wish I still had the episode on me. But anyway, I remember there was a particular spot where the guy he does sort of this Tajiri like move where he does a handspring off the ropes, goes back, and then he reverses into a cutter, and I thought that was pretty amazing. And then there was this Tiger Flosion like neck breaker I saw,
Just
which
looked it
was
up.
also
It
yeah.
was Phoenix versus Drago versus Pentagon Jr.
There we go, Pentagon
And
Junior.
Pentagon Jr. is without a doubt my favorite wrestler, luchador, excuse me, in Lucha Underground
Mm.
for his finisher, which is the running package pile driver.
Mm-hmm. And if you guys want a good episode of Lucha Underground, watch the 20-man battle royal or 30-man. Uh, I can't
Aztec
remember.
Warfare.
Yes, there you go. There was a 30-man. It's basically a Royal Rumble, except you get pinned by pinfall. For those that don't know, just watch it. It was very good. It was very back and forth, especially near the end with Johnny Mundo. For those that don't know, that's John Morrison and Phoenix, I believe it was. So yeah, go ahead and watch that.
On to the most recent episode where they televised Tejano versus Alberto El Patron, which for those of you who don't know, Alberto El Patron is Alberto Del Rio, and now has changed his name from Alberto Del Rio to Alberto El Patron, which is Alberto the Boss
Mm-hmm.
in Spanish. But that match, it was Alberto El Patron versus Tejano in the first ever televised AAA Mega Championship match on Lucha Underground, and this was the first title match for the AAA Mega Championship in the United States. And I don't believe it was the first time. If not, it's been quite a while. But that match, it was a Texas Bull Rope match, meaning both opponents had had one arm tied to each other, and they had to have an entire match with one basically stuck to each other real close, so they were always right next to each other. With even that was still one of the best matches that I've seen on Lucha Underground. Now, the second match, there was three matches that this episode. First of all, the first match was Angelico versus Son of Havoc with Ivelisse at his side, and that match was good. I don't like how Son of Havoc dumped Ivelisse because I think they were a great team together, but more power to him. He's still going to be a good wrestler regardless. Maybe this will give Ivelisse her own chance and probably branch off, so make a Lucha Underground Women's Championship. But enough about that. Now on to the main event, which was Prince Puma versus Cage in a rematch for the new Lucha Underground Championship, which looks beautiful, by the way. Are you ready to talk, Eddie?
Really, I got nothing to say, to be honest. Like I said, I've missed a lot of Lucha Underground. I'm 1 week behind on TNA, and of
Well,
course,
we will finish this up, which I only got like one last thing to say, and then we'll be able to go on to total nonstop topics.
all right.
All right. So there's been rumors that, well, it was pretty much official. If you look at dirt sheets, which now don't get me wrong, I'm a huge wrestling fanatic, but I try my very best not to look at dirt sheets because I am gonna
That
like,
ruined.
yeah, it ruins the fun of wrestling because you know what's the point of watching if you know what's gonna happen next. But anyhow,
And
Hernandez,
it's
you
like
go ahead.
Jay White has said, the
Jordan the
internet.
wrestling fanatic.
Jordan the wrestling fanatic
Call me
has
JT for short.
Jordan the wrestling fanatic. He said, the internet has ruined pro wrestling, and I think that's as much as I didn't believe it at first, it's kind of true, but that's neither here nor there. Jordan, continue on.
Okay, my last piece of news for Lucha Underground is that Hernandez signed with Lucha Underground, and they finally put him on television, helping Prince Puma retain the title for Lucha Underground against Cage. And the match was very good because, it was no disqualification. It was I believe, Boyle Royal, something, Boyle Heights, street fight. Anyway, it was a street fight, and it was really good. Check it out if you have not. Now, on to what Eddie loves because he can finally speak. Topics.
Okay, let's get started.
I get to the non-stop topics. TNT, 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 TNT.
That was the worst intro I've ever heard.
Are you ready now?
Ball! 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 Ball!
Let's save that talk for later. This is total non-stop talk.
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about Kurt Angle winning the TNA World Heavyweight Championship again?
Sure.
All right, so since you obviously missed the episode, I will debrief it for you. So, Kurt Angle, as you know, won the battle. Well, no, he lost the battle royal, going against Bobby Lashley, and MVP won with help of the Beatdown Clan, taking the spot as number one contender for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship to go against Bobby Lashley the next week.
Yes, I remember that.
Further after that week, the next week, Bobby Lashley defeats MVP to retain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And after that, Kurt Angle talks Bobby Lashley into giving him a chance for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. I actually think I can't remember who he went against to solidify him as the next number one contender for the championship. Anyway, the week after that, he competed against Bobby Lashley and defeated him, becoming the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. So, any thoughts? Do you feel like Bobby Lashley should have retained? Do you feel like...
Well, okay. I think it's cool that Kurt Angle won the TNA World Heavyweight title once again. What number reign is this now?
I don't even know. I say too many
Too many.
because obviously Kurt is only with TNA still for the sole reason that Triple H wouldn't give him the part-time contract that he desired. So he decided to stay with TNA to continue to wrestle part-time instead of. It makes sense because his age. I mean, who would want to wrestle full-time at his age? But
Yeah.
still, like, I feel like TNA should have continued giving their championship to their core talent, which is, Bobby Lashley holding the title until somebody, one of their originals, holds the title. Because to be honest, TNA is like losing more and more original wrestlers, and they have a really small roster compared to at least like 2 years ago when they had AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, and they don't even have those guys anymore. They really need to get a young roster before people keep leaving and they won't have a roster left to even manage anymore.
That's true. Basically, I'm just going to be agreeing with Jordan in most of this. But I'm sure it was a good match at least.
It was a phenomenal match. In my opinion, it would have been better if Bobby Lashley were to retain, go head to head with Bobby Roode and become the second longest reigning TNA World Heavyweight Champion in history, rather than just dropping it to Kurt Angle again.
I got nothing. Yeah. I think Bobby Lashley versus Bobby Roode would have been good too.
Bobby Lashley versus Bobby Roode 4?
Yeah.
Oh.
I personally would want to see Austin Aries versus Bobby Lashley again. Cuz I was just so dazzled by the first one. I just have to see it again, but whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just in line for watching a good show, and that's really all that matters to me.
Do you ever think that Drew Galloway, for those of you who don't know, is Drew McIntyre, who now works with TNA under ICW, or I should say UK, since they are signed with UK Wrestling Promotions, and TNA was given the opportunity to show off a few of the UK's finest during the UK tour, being Drew Galloway, Grado, Mark Andrews, who is the British Boot Camp winner, and
didn't Grado fight on who did he fight on TNA?
He fought Al Snow.
Yeah, I remember that. He did the bionic elbow. I remember that. Yeah. Okay.
So my question is, when TNA starts airing back in Orlando and possibly going back to New York, do you feel like Drew Galloway will ever receive a TNA World Heavyweight title shot?
Well, I remember seeing him just deliver a random drop kick to, I think it was I want to say it was Low Key, and
he just lunged himself at him.
Yeah, and I remember that. I don't know. He looked like sort of the Dean Ambrose of, like, he could be the Dean Ambrose of TNA, where he could just pop up, attack, look strong, and then just, without getting any sort of consequence happening to him. So if you were to ask me, I think yeah, for the most part, he does seem like he could get a TNA World title at some point. Could be wrong, but I don't really doubt that thought.
All right, now who? And I already know the question for this because some idiot spoiled it on TNA's page, because PTNA is taped about a month behind. But just give a quick guess. Who do you think is gonna replace Samoa Joe in the Beatdown Clan?
Shit, I don't know. Drew Galloway?
Just keep thinking that. I will not spoil this in this episode because I am not a spoiler. In fact, I will just be moving on.
Wait. We still didn't finish the topic.
What else is there to talk about? It's TNA.
Didn't you tell me to keep guessing?
Do you? Okay, proceed. Keep guessing. Go. While he's guessing, guys, please be sure to look at this awesome gameplay.
Justin Gabriel, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Kurt Angle, Austin Aries, Bobby Roode, Eric Young. I think that's everyone I know. Chris
No,
Benoit.
no, 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 no. None of them were correct.
None of them? I could see Eric Young. Oh well. Ken Anderson.
Nope. It's not a wrestler that you've seen on TNA in about a month. But he is a TNA original. I'll just give that out.
Shoot. Taz.
Taz
House.
isn't an active wrestler.
Kazarian.
Kazarian is in Ring of Honor.
Al Snow. Suicide.
Suicide is in the Revolution with James Storm.
James Storm.
James Storm has his own faction called the Revolution.
I don't know. Jeff Jarrett. Sting.
Jeff Jarrett is having his own wrestling promotion made and now hates TNA's guts even though he created it.
Okay. I don't know.
Now we'll move on to the next topic.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thanks for wasting our time.
Yeah, because nobody cares about me. Fuck you.
Yes, nobody cares about you. Just like nobody cares about indie wrestling, apparently. Because nobody wants to watch my indie wrestling videos, but you just love my WWE videos, huh? Oh, yeah, screw you people. Screw you.
Whatever.
Let's do your little WWE talk with WrestleMania week. Let's do it.
Let's talk about Raw with Snoopy Doggy Dog.
Oh, yeah. You know, me as a black person loves to listen to Snoop Dogg, Snoop Lion, or whatever he calls himself nowadays. But when you go and grab Axelmania and throw him out of the ring with somebody as skinny as Snoop Dogg, I'm sorry, I cannot take it seriously. That just breaks kayfabe alone, the fact that he grabs him and throws him out of the ring without him breaking something.
Oh, and mind me, but why is it nobody notices just how stupid the WWE is with their poor excuses of think of the kids, but then they have Wiz Khalifa making like a million weed smoking references.
Foreign girls call me sexy.
Yeah.
White girls give me Becky.
Girls love me because I'm messing with their best friend. You know, what?
That's because, you know, they're saying, hey, it's a family show. Everybody's jumping up and down. They're not going to understand the lyrics.
Yeah, pretty much. Everyone knows Wiz Khalifa is a family man.
Even though he takes pictures of his ex-wife's backside saying, I wish I could have still been with that just for that one thing. Not the fact that he has a child, but because his ex-wife has a big butt. Yeah, that's a good reason, Wiz.
You gotta love the WWE and their examples. And just their examples. I mean their celebrity endorsements. Just who they have to endorse their products. I mean, wasn't it just 2 years ago?
Snoop Dogg.
Honestly, wasn't it just 3 years ago they had Charlie Sheen as their ambassador?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Winning, right?
Yeah. Okay, so how do you guys feel about the Hall of Fame class this year? And also on that, do you think Rikishi deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? As well as what do you think the response is that the crowd will give Hulk Hogan for having to... What do you think the crowd's response will be?
Are you reading from a paper?
I'm reading from what you told me.
You're reading from... We don't do that here. We go off the top of the head.
Oh, sure we do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at the start of the show we heard paper noises from Jay Wyatt's end, so yeah.
You know what? Nobody hears me because of his awesome mic.
See, here's the thing. I thought it was Jordan the Wrestling Fanatic, but whatever.
Jordan the Wrestling Fanatic is awesome.
Yeah.
End the story.
Yeah, but Jay Wyatt's better. Just saying.
Jay Wyatt is dead, okay?
But you just said he was awesome like 30 seconds ago.
You know, I have a split personality disorder. We're just gonna leave it at that.
All right.
Got a little mankind thing going on, but you know, back to the WWE talk. Do you feel like Hulk Hogan should induct Macho Man, or do you think it should be somebody else?
Well, I don't see anyone else actually, like, being that guy to induct him. I mean,
Could have been Sting.
Yeah, I suppose, but I think if the Ultimate Warrior was still alive, I think he should have inducted him. But I personally don't see anyone more fit than Hulk Hogan, not even Sting. So
I feel like there was many news about how Macho Man. I say news. I should have said rumors that Hulk Hogan and Macho Man didn't see eye to eye, even on Macho Man's deathbed. Even though Hulk Hogan claimed that both of them have patched up before he, passed, I feel like that wasn't true, and Hogan's only saying that so that the press won't believe that both of them had ill will towards each other, even to that very end of Macho Man's life, and they are using this as a way to patch things up so that Hogan can like give a final goodbye, which makes sense because Hogan is the pretty much the face of the WWE and will always be forever be the face of the WWE. I just feel like they could have found somebody else to do it. Because didn't Hogan induct somebody else already?
He did. He inducted Billy Graham.
Exactly. And which is funny because there's also rumors that he stole Billy Graham's gimmick, which adds more fuel to
yeah. I stole his beard and
I stole his beard and his mustache, and now I'm inducting him because I am him.
Brother.
How was he when he was going to high school? He just comes home. I'm home, brother.
That just killed me inside. Hello, father, brother. I wonder.
Holding up the phone, sister, brother.
Brother, stop hogging up the shower.
Brother.
Uncle brother. Auntie brother.
He's like on a date. He's like, you want some of this? You want this sandwich, baby brother?
Will you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife? I do, brother.
All his brother reminds me of the promos that Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan shared towards each other before their match.
Mm-hmm.
For the unification of the Intercontinental and WWF Championship, when Ultimate Warrior was just like, this intensity, he's like, our powers are too equally matched. We are on a completely different level, Hogan. And I'm completely just paraphrasing because I completely forgot everything that they said. But they're just like, that's how, Hulk Hogan. Hulk. And he didn't say Hulk Hogan. He sounded like Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan.
Really?
Hulk Hogan. Oh, we are warriors from a different type of playing field. And Hulk Hogan was like, you're right, Ultimate Warrior. Me and my Hulkamaniacs are going to watch this match, brother. And it's going to be intense. And then the first match, it was just like a power struggle of them grabbing each other's hands and seeing which one can bring the other one to the ground.
There's a lot of things I would love to see Hulk Hogan try to endorse. Like, what if he ran for president? Just like,
He should have ran against Linda McMahon to be state senate in Connecticut. He just don't pick this woman, brother. She's gonna make WWE PG, brother. It's gonna be terrible,
brother. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen this picture, but there's like a picture of WWE, Star Wars characters photoshopped with WWE heads on them, and Hulk Hogan is Darth Vader, and then on the bottom there's a caption that says, "I am your father, brother."
I am your brother, father, brother.
Cut my hair, barber brother.
He cut my hair, barber.
uh,
Yeah, son, Hulk Hogan. Yeah, I like the '80s. Even though people talk like, oh, the '80s didn't have that good technical wrestling, I say like it was all about the intensity. That's what makes '80s wrestling like so much fun to watch because like you don't see like the intensity now like you used to see back then. Like the whole crowd just screaming their heads off, the wrestlers
yeah.
screaming their heads off. Like they were really.
Nowadays the crowd's just dead and
And
it's
like even when most wrestlers nowadays cut promos, they be like, what are you gonna do for your next match?" Oh, I'm gonna go on. I'm the best. I'm gonna go out and take the wrestler. If this was the '80s, you'd be like, what
and
are
it,
you going to do to your opponent? I'm gonna murder them. I'm gonna vaporize them.
nowadays it's just really dry.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not as fun to watch as it was.
yeah. It's really like, and this isn't like any like knock on Seth Rollins, but I just cannot stand watching him cut a promo most
Well, I
of the
love
time.
watching Seth Rollins cut a promo when they give him enough mic time to explain what he was trying to do.
Well, it depends, cause like there'll be some days where he'll cut a really good promo, like when he explains why he betrayed the Shield.
When
But then
he
there'll
had Edge pinned down, it was about the curb stomp him.
there was that too. But then there will be moments where he'll like, like that backstage segment. I don't know if you remember this. He starts talking about Roman Reigns, and then this guy gets down on his knees and on his knuckles. Look at me, I'm Roman Reigns, and he actually thought that was funny,
You want to know
which was pretty
why
just
they
weird.
do
And
promos? It's because WWE now is like extremely like heavily scripted, and they're pretty much told everything to do as up to how to walk straight. Like they are so even the commentators now they be like Michael Cole sucks, JBL sucks. So why can't it be like back in the day? Because back in the day like Gorilla Monsoon, Mr. McMahon himself, Bobby the Brain Heenan weren't as scripted as they are now, where they have to say
well,
everything, plug the WWE app every 5 minutes, plug the
well, that's
WWE network
true.
every 2 minutes.
hmm But I mean, I don't know if you know this or not, but back then, Paul Heyman used to write WWE, and Taz and Michael Cole were always very scripted too. In fact, they were actually very miserable for doing their jobs at that point. And
At least then
and that
they didn't have
commentary
to
wasn't.
plug, the WWE network. It wasn't in existence yet, so that's gave them
Yeah.
a little bit of free space.
And their commentary wasn't so unbearable like it is today. Like, I would enjoy the Paige and AJ Lee storyline a bit more if I didn't have to hear she's become unhinged every week. You know?
You know what was really gruesome to hear back when he started calling Dean Ambrose the lunatic fringe?
What?
And with Michael Cole, the whole nickname, the lunatic fringe, doesn't make any sense whatsoever, considering that a lunatic fringe is an entire like group of people that are, lunatics that are on the craze that are being crazy. A lunatic
So,
fringe cannot be like a single person.
so I suppose he's comparing himself to an entire
That's what he
to
could
to
be
an
doing,
entire group of
but
lunatics.
what I dislike is when
Basically, he's the equivalent to an entire group,
yeah,
which is still retarded regardless. Uh,
and it's what it would have been good if Dean Ambrose himself made it up, but when a commentator is like trying to like shove like a name that they came up with or one of the corporates came up with in the bag down our throats to try to make us chant it, like it's just unbearable. Like I hate like how WWE is so commercialized up to the point where they even want the fans to say what they want them to say.
yeah. And honestly, it's really annoying just how much they try to force it down. And they will literally try to dismiss as much of the heels being cheered. Well, not anymore of that, but I remember in 2012 they would do that a lot. But they just won't accept the fact that people are fans of the opposite of people they don't want. Like, the fans are very energetic when they're chanting BS at Roman Reigns in the Royal Rumble match. You know,
Mhm. And then they edited it out the next day.
yeah,
That's
you know,
WWE for you. But
yeah.
enough about that. Back to now that we're done with all of that whining, bitching, and moaning, and you
Um,
guys are like, "Oh, thank God, they finally shut up and they can start
yeah,
sucking off WWE like we do." Like,
yeah. And
yeah.
we'll be talking about Snoopy Doggy Dog. Um,
That's funny. That's what started this whole argument or like debate in the first place. This rant actually.
yeah. We were talking about that, and then we started talking about the promos that. Oh, okay, yeah. Now I know where we're at. We were talking about the intensity that isn't there anymore these days in today's promos.
Yeah, and we we explained it by saying that WWE is now heavily commercialized with all the endorsements and sponsorships that they have. Now they have to be this commercialized. The only way for them to change is to just go with it, just change the TV rating and see who stays with them. That's it. That's all they can do now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I suppose we're. Oh, I don't know. Do you have any more commentary to this?
No, I'm done with it. I'm ready to move on to another WWE
Okay,
related topic.
I got a topic in mind. Has the hate for Roman Reigns died down?
Not really, no. The only people that really hate Roman Reigns is the IWC, aka the Internet Wrestling Community, and even Triple H himself said it during the podcast with Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's some crowds that are, more, what's the word? They're more. It's
Towards
filled
Roman
more with,
Reigns?
what do you call it? Like fans like me, smart fans, but
Mm.
like,
Smartasses.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
basically what he referred us as,
Like
smartasses.
people that know more about the company than they should, and
Mm.
usually those type of fans tend to think exactly the same, like not exactly the same, but usually have the same opinions towards a
Mm.
specific wrestler, promotion, or
Mm.
anything else along those terms. So Philadelphia is considered
One of those
one of
smartass.
those, yeah, one of those towns. Like when a smart town is a town where you know, like, you which wrestler is gonna get which reaction, because everybody on the internet talks about, like, oh, we're gonna give them this reaction whenever we get to see them, and when they see them, you get that reaction. That's a smart town. Those towns are gonna be the only towns that you see hate on Roman Reigns. These, besides them, the casuals, you can tell that they have nothing wrong with Roman Reigns. But usually, like, casual fans, they will eat up anything that the WWE throws at them. Not saying that Roman Reigns, it hasn't been improving or is bad. It's just the truth. They could get Zack Ryder and get slapped the WWE Heavyweight Championship on him, give him some good character build up, and they'll be like, "Oh, we love Zack Ryder now." That's just how casuals think.
That's true. But don't you think it's a little weird how they call any any town that just disagrees with having Roman Reigns, the internet fans like, or the smartasses,
Yeah. Wait,
yeah,
what? How they consider us smart asses or smart fans and
like,
whatnot?
because we disagree with what they're
Yeah.
giving us.
Well, that's what they do in order. That's like their getaway for ghetto. That's their
Ex-
what do you? That's their. I'm trying to find a word for it.
excuse for getting someone by.
That's their excuse for getting away with anything that they do, whether it's smart, stupid, as long as their fan base likes it, and their core fan base is families, which is children and adults, like their parents.
Hmm.
Usually, well, actually, adults usually make up the majority of WWE's fan base, but a lot of them are casual wrestling fans, meaning that they may watch every week, but they only watch WWE. They don't know any other wrestling promotions out there. This is their breakfast, lunch, and dinner for pro wrestling, and what
Yeah.
they see is what they get. That's it.
All right. So you don't think the hate train for for Roman Reigns has died? You don't think
Oh
that?
no, there's people that are still. If you do you hear those Daniel Bryan chants whenever Roman Reigns comes to the ring? There's a
Yeah,
reason why they do that. They're still mad about the fact that Daniel Bryan didn't win the Royal Rumble. Even though I kind of agree with people that are saying that it would have been kind of stupid for Daniel Bryan to win, to get another WrestleMania shot for the second time in a row. Though to be fair, wrestlers
I
there have
don't.
been wrestlers back then that have had
Didn't
champion.
Steve Austin win 3 Royal Rumbles?
Exactly. So for people saying Daniel Bryan to win, like on the flip side, it would have made sense since he's still completely over with the crowd. I'm just a
Yeah,
guy of multiple opportunities, so I'm always up for seeing somebody new get the
but
opportunity.
Daniel Bryan does deserve more than.
Then Roman Reigns, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I never said nothing about that. Like,
No, I'm not. I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just saying like, I'm just addressing what you just brought up is that people don't agree with Daniel Bryan having a second Royal Rumble win and thinking that'd be stupid. And I
well, did
don't.
he? Did he?
I
Did he?
really.
I don't think he didn't win. He never won the Royal Rumble.
Well, no. Okay, I didn't mean the second time in a row. I mean having a
All right, a
second WrestleMania
WrestleMania
moment.
moment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think he should have
Uh,
won the Royal Rumble though.
Yeah, I think that would have been more. Everyone wanted to see it. No, I didn't hear any complaints about it. And it's not like it would have been a Batista thing where everyone was gonna boo him because it was seen from a mile away. It was nothing like that because fans were actually behind Daniel Bryan.
Like even though people are behind Daniel Bryan, the most predictable outcome did happen, which was Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble. They think just because we want a certain wrestler to win, that that's going to be the predictable outcome. But we actually cheer for them knowing that they're not going to win. But having Daniel Bryan eliminated so fast was just completely retarded.
Yeah, he wasn't in there that long, was he? He was like
Nah,
5.
he come in, has
What?
did a little wrestling moves a little bit, got thrown out. Speaking of which, why was Kane and Mark Henry? No, it wasn't Kane and Mark. It was Kane and Big
Kenny Craig
Show
show.
just dumping out talent like they're the new sliced bread.
That's what kind of gets to me. I mean, I love Kane. I sometimes love Big Show, but these guys, they always put over so many people, and it just doesn't. And it just looks weird that they just start dumping them out when we could actually be watching some great spots between Bray Wyatt and fucking Dean Ambrose and whoever else was in there, Dean Ambrose and Rusev. But no, instead we gotta see them dump out everybody, and then everyone from a mile away is going to see Roman Reigns winning, as if we're gonna expect Big Show or Kane to win, and whatever.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense for Kane and Big Show to be dumping out all of like the talent that we wanted, some talent that we like wanted to win. Especially
Mhm.
wasn't Dean Ambrose one of the people that they threw out?
Yes, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, I believe Bray Wyatt was one of them.
I know Bray Wyatt
Um,
got eliminated. A lot of potential Royal Rumble winners that we wanted to see win
yeah.
just
I
got
wouldn't
manhandled.
I wouldn't have even minded so much as Rusev versus Brock Lesnar, even though that feud would make absolutely no sense. I still wouldn't have minded that match at
Well,
WrestleMania.
kind of the Beast versus the undefeated soldier, like that they could have sold that
Yeah. Yeah.
easier than trying to sell Roman Reigns looking like a legitimate threat against Brock Lesnar.
Well, I mean, look at the size of Roman Reigns. On top of that, it's not so much they're making him look like a legitimate threat, they're making him look more like an underdog, which makes a bit of sense, but
It
not
would
as much
make
as it would.
sense if he actually took damage in his matches, but the reason why they're calling him the next Super Cena is because in his match you can obviously tell he's gonna win because he just dominates the entire match and takes like almost no damage. Even when he does take damage, immediately gets up and just like acts like nothing is wrong with him. That's the Cena effect. They don't want him to look weak because they're trying to make him look really, really, really strong. And I'm not just saying that because CM Punk said it, which is another thing that they came up with, the casuals. Like, if you watch, you can just look. They're trying to make him look really, really strong. What I'm saying is, even if like this outcome like came along, like Roman Reigns winning and stuff, it wouldn't be as annoying if he actually like took like a suffering loss here and there rather than just breeze walking his way to WrestleMania looking like the biggest, like baddest wrestler out there when there are more deserving wrestlers around him, even though like it's obvious like not everybody should be given what they believe that they should be given because WWE is like a mainstream type wrestling promotion full of corruption and whatnot. But like at least like sell the person that you're trying to shove down our throats. Like sell them well and make them look like the champion that you want us to think that they are. Like Roman Reigns, take a few losses here and there.
Don't make him have the same mistakes Cena had.
Don't make him do those Looney Tune promos anymore.
No more of the Jack and the Beanstalk and Roman Reigns,
Jack and the Beanstalk. I climb up the Beanstalk and like I can tell he's thinking in his head like who the hell wrote this script like.
And I wonder I feel like Roman Reigns himself is just really reluctant to say these promos because he knows he's gonna get shitted on for one. For two, he's just like when I look at him like giving his promos and just how much he messes up or like he looks so pissed off at the fact that he's saying these promos and well basically what you said. But okay, you go on.
Now I know that he does know about the fact that the internet wrestling community, or I should say smart community, because pretty much everybody uses the internet nowadays. But like an example of him like full well knowing like that he's being watched and people are paying attention to exactly what he says on a promo. When he talks to Seth Rollins on SmackDown saying you're full of suffering succotash son. Oh yeah, suffering succotash son. And he goes, and I know that was really, really hard for me to say. And he winks at the camera, like you just
say that again.
Like,
Repeat that, Jordan.
He told Seth Rollins that you're full of suffering succotash, son. You heard that?
Damn it.
Yo.
Did you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, your mic was giving out there for a minute. Okay, go ahead, repeat all that.
Okay, I'll repeat for you, but I'm pretty sure everybody else heard what I just said. Here I go. Here I go. Oh. Anyhow, Roman Reigns.
Chingy ching ching could buy anything.
Collard greens. Anyhow, and let's this whole annotation. I'm gonna put a whole annotation. Jordan the Wrestling Fanatic and Eddie just straight babbling about whenever they feel like this is what this topic is about pretty much. It's been for 20 straight minutes. I
know.
All right. Okay. Let me just finish what I was gonna say
go ahead.
Go on to talk about WrestleMania, wrestle whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Roman Reigns said, Seth Rollins, you're full of suffering succotash, son," and he said a whole lot of stuff before that. And he said, "I know that was a lot for me to say." And as soon as he says that, he winks to the camera, knowing full well who he was winking at.
Mm-hmm.
Because wrestlers usually do stuff like that to call out specific people or groups of people while sticking in the character. Because you want to know how I know he was talking about the smart crowd or the IWC or whatever you want to call them, because later after he had an interview stating like, what do you think about the internet wrestling community or smart crowd? What do you think about fans like saying that you can't talk on the mic or feel like you shouldn't have won WrestleMania? He said, I don't care what they think. I'm here. I'm in this business for me and me alone. And if you can see the fact that he's trying to improve on the mic, you can tell that that's completely not true. He really is trying to improve himself for those fans.
Yeah.
Because if he didn't, he wouldn't be trying to better himself. He would just be going along the way that the corporate wants him to go along. Because
Mhm.
either way, he's gonna look strong. So what's the point?
Yeah. Um. Hmm.
Now,
Yeah. I guess we're done now. You just
yeah.
said your last
All
piece
right.
of
Yep.
evidence.
As I said, we're putting the tag.
Okay. So, how would you rate this? This final go home Raw?
I rated about 6 out of 5, 6 out of 10,
6 out of
because
10.
it was very, very lackluster. A lot more could have happened. Now, the things that I did like about the final Raw before Mania, I like the Sting promo just because it's Sting. And I'm a huge WCW fan. The first wrestling promotion I ever watched was WCW. Um,
Mhm.
the second best thing the I like the Paige and AJ with the Bellas promo. I believe that Nikki Bella has improved a lot. Can't say a lot about Brie. Brie is still as stale as 2 week old bread.
I am sick of the damn Bellas. I don't care how much he's improved.
Stop being there. You can hate all you want. Nikki Bella has really improved a lot. I'm a huge smart kid. Even I'm admitting that Nikki Bella has improved a lot compared to how she was a couple months ago. As just a girl that's only up there because she's sleeping with John Cena.
Uh,
But okay, so the two top talkers in that promo were AJ and Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella even beat Paige on the mic by it was just some of the stuff. I'll give you an example of one thing that she said to AJ. She told AJ, "I think that Brock Lesnar has been here more times than you have."
well, she said that.
Yeah, she said that.
I didn't pay
And
attention.
it's funny because Brock Lesnar literally has this year has been here more times than AJ has.
Huh, that's funny.
And I coming up with something like that, you gotta admit that's creative.
All right, fine, I'll give it to her.
But Bree and Paige were like very, very stale on the mic. Like, I don't know if it was just because they had nothing to go on that script or just like Bree still sucks and Paige like never has been that good of a talker on the mic. It's always been her wrestling skills and her pale skin that's gotten the fans over.
Mm, honestly, I don't. I the only thing I remember from the Bellas and AJ Lee and Paige segment was the match between Paige and Nikki Bella, which was pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah,
I
Nikki
liked it.
Nikki has really like switched up her moveset to seem more like a diva, a powerhouse, a female powerhouse, which is what most of her moves are. She picks up her opponent. She lifts him up like she's about to choke slam him and stuff like that. The rack attack, which is of course named after her breast, but um, besides that, it's just yeah, I believe that she's improving. For Brie, I can't say the same. Like her, yeah, I can say for Brie, her wrestling skills have improved like slightly, but like to be placed on the well, she is just like she was made to be like the smaller Bella under Nikki, but like for Nikki, I feel like Nikki like really is proving herself to be a Divas champion, which really is like hard for me to say because I was really pissed off when she won the Divas championship because me as a man who really rarely watches women's wrestling, because not for the fact that just because it's women, but well, yeah, that it kind of is the fact that it's women. Like, I'm not sexist, but like I really don't like watching like two. I rarely like watching two women like tear each other up in the ring, but that's just my personal preference. I like watching men's wrestling, even though just because like it's more like fast paced and stuff like that. Even though they do have women's only wrestling promotions and stuff like that that I keep tabs on, but other than that, I don't really keep that much. I watch women's wrestling, but not as much as men's wrestling. Let's just leave it at that and move on.
I prefer Eve Therese. Anyway,
You want to fight?
yes, I do actually.
Okay, you're
I
gonna
will.
you're gonna meet me at a location. We're gonna throw down. We'll kick your fan.
And you know what? I will challenge you to a game of hopscotch.
I will challenge you to a game of Monopoly, baby.
All right, yeah, I'll take that challenge. I'll probably lose, but at least I'll die trying. Um,
Anyhow, do you want to keep talking about the belt? Oh yeah, yeah. This is my opinion. This is my rating for Raw. So let me keep going. I like the
yeah.
Intercontinental Championship ladder match preview because I
Mhm.
really wasn't all that interested in this match at first, but they did a really good job with R-Truth stealing the Intercontinental Championship and then having them pass it around. Like that was something that I haven't seen in WWE in a while. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Personally, I do know that the whole stealing the art Intercontinental title has been happening since Fastlane, even though I've been missing Raw 3 weeks in a row. But I do know there was been those segments, and I've seen those segments. Those are pretty enjoyable to watch. You know, like when Wade Barrett got the Intercontinental title out of the bag, and it turned out to be a toy Intercontinental title. I thought that was pretty funny, and then R-Truth runs off with the original.
and then Wade Barrett finally gets his belt back, and he looks at R-Truth like, "You want to try stealing it again?" And R-Truth is just like, "Nah, we cool now. We cool now." He's like, "Yeah, yeah, we're cool." And R-Truth looks away, and then Wade Barrett hits him with the bull hammer.
Yeah.
Like they did a good job building up this feud, even putting Dolph because people wanted like since Daniel Bryan is not going for the heavyweight, or I mean, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. They had to do some way to keep the fans pleased. Fans were like, put him in a feud with Dolph Ziggler, and
Mhm.
not it doesn't even have to be a feud. Just put him in a match. So what they did was, it was last Monday where they had Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler just in the ring with each other, and they're just looking at each other, and they both go, "Yeah, whatever," and then they just start throwing fists at each other, and the crowd just goes ballistic.
Yeah. They also had a really good match on SmackDown, from what I heard.
Yeah.
Um, and then of course the special referee match.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
I'm real. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, did you seen the special referee match with what was it? It was Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler, right? With Dean Ambrose.
parts of it.
Yeah. So that match was pretty. So like, I'm pretty amped for this ladder match just for the fact that Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan, and Luke Harper are in this match. So I'm definitely gonna watch it. That means we're gonna get to see some high flying action.
Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, I'm pretty much amped up to see the Intercontinental title belts. This is probably the most fuel I've seen built into the Intercontinental
In
title
quite some
in
time.
in really long time. Maybe since I don't know, even probably since Drew McIntyre's reign, which he was probably the last good guy to hold the title.
About Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah, Cody Rhodes too as well. I forgot about Cody Rhodes actually, where he brought back the original title, and then
That Cody Rhodes Rey
yeah
Mysterio feud was the last
yeah.
good feud for Unicron, in my opinion. That feud was.
What about Cody Rhodes and Booker T?
Oh yeah. I like that as well. I just didn't like it as much as the Cody Rhodes Rey Mysterio feud.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, since Cody Rhodes has held the belt last time, I think this is the most fuel I've seen being put into the title. And I can say without a doubt, I'm certainly going to come into this looking out this match and looking at the competitors, as long as Sheamus doesn't come out as an 8th participant. Looking at this match, I think I'm personally going to look at this match and get my money's worth.
Same here. I'm only paying $10 for this pay-per-view.
Yeah, and this and I feel like I'm going to be expecting maybe a $20 match, maybe a $20 million match by the ladder match, you know?
I would just like to make one more gripe about the WWE
Go
Network.
ahead. Go
Consider
ahead.
I have been a member of the WWE Network for over a year now, and I'd like to say I completely hate the fact that they don't mention the fact that you have to pay taxes when they had that $9.99 commercial.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, $9.99. No, it should be $10 with cents. Like,
Oh man! I just realized on the $9.99 commercial, the get you everything you want to see, and that stupid.
it's just
song.
$9.99. No, it isn't. Stop lying to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fans,
I just
like,
realized they had a $9.99, and under the 99, they
with
actually
taxes.
had a plus tax on there.
Yeah, they don't tell you that part for a reason.
Would you rather have $65 without tax, or would you have
I work hard for
$9.99
my
with
money.
tax?
Work hard for money. I like to know up front, not in like bold red colors. Just say we will pay $9.99 plus taxes.
Oh man.
Just say it. Just say it. What's so hard about saying it? I'm still gonna pay for it either way. I'm just gonna be less pissed off.
It's still better than it's still better than $65 for pay-per-view.
$65.99.
Yeah. The only problem I really have
$70 for HD. Yeah.
the only problem I have with the WWE Network right now is well, actually I have two problems. One is that they edit the theme songs. I remember these things. They edit the promos, they edit the themes, and I remember this like I even have the original versions, and I can tell they edited some parts out for some reason. And it's just those little things that annoy me. And on top of that, you don't get everything you want to see. I want to see every episode of 2003. They don't even have a 2003 section.
You know how long it took for them to put the Attitude Era on there?
How long?
A while. That's the reason why most people got the WWE Network, and they didn't do it until they had like this whole explanation on how Monday Nitro lost to the Monday Night Wars, and that's when they started adding more Attitude Era episodes.
Mm.
So they're probably gonna do like an explanation of the Ruthless Aggression Era, and then they're probably gonna start adding more episodes. But
I
who
hope they
God
do.
knows how long that's gonna take.
I hope they do. Do you know they don't even have one episode of 2011? That's the
Man, that's the universe era. You would expect
and
that.
yeah, exactly. And that's an even better year than 2014, because it has so much that happened that was, everyone wanted to see. CM Punk's pipe bomb. Even if you edit out the fact that he said douchebag.
Don't scare the casuals away.
Yeah, exactly. I thought you were saying that to me, but and then they have The Rock returning, and then that was a great year. I don't get why they wouldn't have 2011, and they only have one episode of 2006, so they're like scattered all over the place with what they're having with their content.
Yep.
Yeah. At least they have every pay-per-view, so there's that. To my knowledge, anyway. Those are my two gripes with WWE Network. But other than that, it's certainly pretty good.
All right, now, yeah. So my rating was a 6 for Raw. What was your rating?
To be honest, I don't even remember Raw. I remember Paige versus AJ Lee, Sting's opening segment, and Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns' closing segment. From what I remember, I suppose I'll give it what? Yeah, I'll just give it what you gave it, 6 out of 10.
All right. So with that out of the side, we can talk more in depth about the WrestleMania matches since it is
Yep.
WrestleMania week.
And we
Wrestle.
give our predictions now.
Yeah.
Finally, let's.
Well, all right. First, we're gonna start with what will be the pre-show, which I find is really stupid, which is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which I feel like should not be a
Are you
pre-show.
serious?
I feel like it's disrespectful to Andre the Giant.
That makes no sense as to. Wasn't it like the third match on the card last year as well?
Yeah, it was in there. You would have to pay the $9.99 or $60 to watch that fight, and
Hmm.
now everybody's gonna be able to see it. I mean,
Uh,
it's kind of gives you the question like, who exactly are they gonna be using in the battle royal? I mean, is it just gonna be jobbers? Is it gonna be mid carders in there?
well, it's like you said, Hideo Itami's gonna be in
Oh
there.
yeah, for those of you who don't know, which
That's
you should have
Kenta.
seen on WWE's channel, Hideo Itami won through a tournament of various NXT wrestlers such as Adrian Neville, Finn Balor, Tyler Breeze win a shot at getting his WrestleMania moment early and getting placed in
Mhm.
the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Now,
Yeah.
Eduardo, who do you feel like? Do you feel like Hideo Itami was the right one to play from NXT, the right wrestler from NXT to be placed in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal?
If you ask me, I don't even think he's gonna be a big role
Think it's just gonna get
because
tossed out?
yeah, that's really how I see it. Because if I look at every single time an NXT superstar or even a tough enough superstar has been placed in whatever battle royal they want to put it in, whether it's the Royal Rumble, the Andre Memorial Royal Rumble, the whatever other battle royals they've had in the past, where they've added a character from their developmental, they never win. So either way, it really doesn't matter who wins. It's just gonna be, they're gonna play their role, and then they're gonna get tossed out. Just like Bo Dallas got tossed out in 2013, just like Rusev got tossed out in 2014. It's really not gonna be any different.
Well, you gotta remember Royal Rumble. I don't remember which one it was at the moment, but you do remember when Bo Dallas was picked in the tournament from
Yeah,
NXT to get placed in the Royal Rumble, and he
that
threw
was
out Wade Barrett.
2013. Yeah,
2013 started a
yeah,
rivalry with Wade Barrett after which lasted about, I'd say, about 2 to 3 weeks because
2 weeks.
people forgot who he was and they had no build up, so they just threw him under the bus and brought him back to NXT and repackaged him to the
Exactly. It was
believer. But
so.
Hideo, more people have a knowledge on who Hideo Itami is because of his, his history in
Is
Japan. The
as
fact that
Kenta.
everybody calls him Kent, everybody knows him as Kenta. They call him Japanese. CM Punk, even though he is the originator of the GTS
Hmm.
and the Busaiku knee kick, which is what Daniel Bryan, the running knee that Daniel Bryan uses
Hmm.
now. Hence why his moveset in WWE seems so small compared to his moveset in Japan because all of his moves in Japan are taken now. So he
Hmm.
has to he can't use the game over, which is the crossface that Daniel Bryan uses it. Even he can't use the Busaiku knee kick because Daniel Bryan uses it and he can't
Hmm.
use the G. He can't. They keep teasing fans about him doing the GTS. I think one, they're waiting for the right moment, and
Yeah.
he's gonna do it, and the crowd's just gonna mark out,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be his finisher because CM Punk isn't there anymore, so there's any reason for him not to use the GTS anymore.
Hmm.
So I feel like they might let him use it in this battle royal. He may come out and use it on Curtis Axel, then throw him out of the ring
Hmm.
because it might be why they're building Axelmania, but you never know what's gonna happen. I just don't think he's gonna get tossed out immediately. I know he's gonna get tossed out because
Yeah,
he's
that's
in
what I'm
NXT.
saying. I'm not saying he's gonna get tossed out immediately, but he's going to get tossed out.
Yeah.
Um.
What do
Yeah.
you think their reaction is gonna be for Hideo Itami? Do you think they're gonna just like stay dead because more too many casuals don't know who he is? You think he's gonna get a little cheer, like a little ooh?
Uh. Um. Well, some of the WWE fans, that I see on Raw nowadays, I do see some NXT is better signs, so I do know there's a good chance of NXT fans being at San Francisco. So with any luck, I think yeah, Hideo Itami will get at least some good reception going at the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Do I see him winning? Not a chance in hell.
Oh,
But
obviously, hell no, he's not winning.
yeah, would I believe it if it were to happen? Probably not, but I'd still be pretty damn happy for him. But yeah, whatever the case, I'm happy Kenta is in, or Hideo Itami is in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Personally, it doesn't matter to me who was in it, whether it be Adrian Neville, Finn Balor, even Kevin Owens, even though he's an NXT champion and they probably won't have him. It really doesn't matter. I just want to see. I'm just happy an NXT superstar is at WrestleMania.
Cool. All right. Now, is that all there is to talk about the Andre the Giant Battle Royal?
Who do you see winning?
Um, that is a good question. I kind of see Mark Henry winning, though that would be pretty use because he is the world's strongest man, so it would make sense for him to win it
Mm-hmm.
more than everybody else. And they built it up him throwing the Big Show out of the ring. So I feel like Mark Henry's gonna get the W, but it would be a huge shocker. But my second pick, for it's funny, but it has to be like Curtis Axel with all the build that they have at Axelmania. Like him, like doing something stupid, like staying laid down throughout the entire match, to the point where people forget that he's even in the match, and he just gets up, does a drop kick or
I
something.
could see that happening. Sort of like when Maven eliminated Undertaker, right?
Undertaker, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that happening. Okay, what do I see? In case you were gonna ask me, which you probably weren't. I see Hideo Itami winning. Nah, I'm just playing. I
Yeah, you're saying hell no,
um,
he ain't gonna win.
yeah, I see. If I were to take a guess, this is a hard one. Probably Mizdow.
Is now
Yeah.
with all the rise that was going on Miz, you would have expected them to do Miz versus Damian Mizdow at WrestleMania.
Yeah, you'd expect that to happen. But whatever. You also would have expected Goldust versus Stardust, but they didn't do that either.
Maybe we'll see
Uh,
Miz and Mizdow go at it. This might start the feud like this battle royal right here. I envision him throwing the Miz out of the ring.
yeah, I could see it too happening.
He tried it
Now,
at Royal Rumble.
yeah. Oh yeah. No. Miz got eliminated, and then Mizdow comes out, and then Miz tries to tell him to get to the back and tell him, "Oh, you're my
Oh, and he
stunt
does
double."
it.
Yeah, and then Mizdow goes in, and he gets eliminated, and then and then out of nowhere, Miz just sits there squatted down and in frustration at Mizdow, and then the Mizdow does the same thing, and they're both just screaming at each other. Uh,
Good
that was
times.
that was a pretty funny moment. Um, Now my second choice, because I can already see it happening with WWE. Sheamus is going to win this by regret that I have to say that, even though I'm sort of a Sheamus fan nowadays.
Is he
Uh,
in? He's in the battle royal.
they're gonna have him as a surprise entrance.
Oh,
They haven't confirmed it or nothing, but with all the Sheamus returns commercials that I've seen, there's just no way they're not gonna have Sheamus at WrestleMania.
you know what I
And
thought there? Oh, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Which?
oh no, that was officially the end of my sentence. Go
Oh,
ahead.
really? All right. Well, as I was gonna say, um, with all the hype of Sheamus during WrestleMania and the fact that Daniel Bryan didn't have a match at the time, you would have expected them to book Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan in a rematch for the mistake that they made a couple WrestleManias back when they made Daniel Bryan lose the World Heavyweight Championship in what was it, 16, 18 seconds?
18 seconds.
In 18 seconds. And this rematch would solidify Daniel Bryan as a legitimate main eventer
They're not
now.
gonna do that.
Yeah, but it would have made the most perfect sense since both of them didn't have matches, and it would have made the most perfect sense because everybody didn't care for Daniel Bryan at the time, and
Yeah,
now he's
I
just
cared for him.
I cared for him, even
Actually,
the casuals.
I was a Daniel Bryan fan before Daniel Bryan. Being a Daniel Bryan fan was cool. I was doing the yes, yes,
That's what
yes
all
chants.
smart say.
No, I legitimately did it. No, I
No, I
remember
know.
I remember making the damn videos too, and then I would comment. You remember? I would comment yes, yes, yes in the chant videos, and you would tell me, "Oh, stop with this yes, because it's so overpopularized and blah." Um, yeah, I was a Daniel Bryan fan before it was cool, so I cared about Daniel Bryan at least.
uh, yeah. So you
Sorry.
feel like um
Yeah, you.
Sheamus is gonna come out and win this battle royal, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
All right. So my pick is Mark Henry. Your pick is Sheamus. So
yeah,
we'll see what goes out on at WrestleMania.
yeah, and we both might be
Okay.
wrong.
Yeah. So
Um,
you pick the next match.
what is the next match anyway?
I'm not sure about the card. I'm
Um,
pretty sure it's gonna be Brass Ring Club, which is Cesaro and Tyson Kidd versus who are they competing against? I can't. Was it the Usos
Usos. Yeah,
for the
the
tag team
Usos.
championships? I believe they're gonna retain.
Yeah, yeah, I could see them retaining. Uh, I don't see any reason why not to. Um, mm, well, the tag team division's sort of dead now. No matter
It's
how.
improving a lot compared to last year. At least they actually have teams now. Oh yeah, you know what I completely forgot? This is a fatal four-way tag team match.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's Tyson Kidd and Cesaro versus the Usos versus the Los Matadors versus
Who, the Ascension or what?
no, it's it would have been cool if they had the Ascension in this match. That's pretty much the only like legitimate tag team that they have besides Tyson Kidd and
Mhm.
Cesaro and the Usos. But they disrespected the Ultimate Warrior, so we're gonna bury them until people forget about them. But
Yeah. About
anyhow,
that.
yeah.
What did you think of that that anyway? Like the fact that they had a squash match and then they started disrespecting. And I know a lot of people, even pro wrestlers such as Gregory Helms, got offended by this. How do you weigh in on that? Because I
Well,
know
to
you are
be
an Ascension
fair,
fan.
the Demolition, which is a 90s tag team, stated the same exact thing, saying that they were better than the Road Warriors. It started with nothing but squash matches. Were taken as a joke as nothing but Ultimate Road Warrior wannabes, and now they're seen as legends too. So now when the Ascension says that they're better than the Demolition, it's now considered disrespectful. So time is just repeating itself. The fans don't want to see them. The fans don't want to see wrestlers of this generation compare themselves to wrestlers of the last generation. That's all it is. And the Ascension are not bad wrestlers. If you watch their works in NXT, they could have been.
Um, I don't know. I know. I've seen them versus the New Age Outlaws. I don't remember too much. I do know they are actually pretty good. And I know if you say they're good, then they're good. So.
Yeah, Victor
And
came out of the Heart Dungeon, so you know how hard that school is to.
mhm.
But like schools aside, like he is a decent. I personally preferred Bram from TNA when he was a part of the Ascension when it was him and Connor. But Victor is a pretty okay replacement, and both of them are a much like better tag team than the tag teams that they have right now. Beside
Mhm.
like other than Tyson Kidd, Cesaro, and the Usos, there's no other like pretty good tag. If they kept the Los Matadores, Primo and Epico, yeah, I would be all for that tag team. Took
Mm,
El Torito and bro, took El Torito, put him with the Lucha Dragons, and made him take that stupid bull costume off. That would
mm,
be a lot more like legitimate than
mm,
making him make an ass of himself over the
mm.
ring, like twerking in the ring and stuff. Like even
Yeah.
though, just cause he's a midget doesn't mean that he can't wrestle. Like I hate like
And he
WWE.
can wrestle. You've seen
Yeah,
him.
he's really popular in Mexico
He
actually. El
is. He
Torito,
is.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
I don't see like why like they make him dress up as a bull and make an ass of himself every time he goes just because of his size. Like
It makes no sense. They really don't. They don't know what they do with the wrestlers anymore. Honestly.
especially with those stereotypical gimmicks that like the Lost Matador. They're first of all they're Puerto Rican. They're not even Mexican. Like I don't see the whole point of them having this gimmick if they're not gonna do anything with it.
You know, they should just go back to Primo and Epico or have Carlito return and
And
then
become a
have
trio.
a trio exactly, and they could feud with the New Day, which will actually seem like a legitimate and actually entertaining feud in my eyes, anyway. Um, but no, they don't. They don't want to do that for some reason.
Speaking
I,
about the New Day, they could have been a epic tag team if they kept them with the heel gimmick that they were supposed to have when they came out to the ring with those
they were
clean
supposed to have
kicks.
a. They were supposed to have a heel gimmick.
Yeah, they were supposed to do something with. I don't. It was even if it wasn't supposed to be heel, they were supposed to be taken seriously because when they came out with suits on, just like
Yeah,
standing
they.
like watching the wrestlers, and then they would just disappear because they didn't know what to do with that storyline.
Yeah, and then and then everything went away for like months, and nobody remembered. Not even Josh, and then I reminded him, oh, it's that stupid that trio with Biggie Langston and Kofi Kingston and all them, and I thought, and I wouldn't have minded this that the three of them if it wasn't, and as JBO would say, too happy. Um, you know, I think um I think if they had more of a dominating presence, you know,
Yeah,
but if WWE wouldn't stop looking at them as a fucking cruiserweight division, we wouldn't have that problem.
so true, so true. So, is the New Day even competing at WrestleMania?
They're probably in the four-man tag team. No,
Um,
no, actually they're not. Never mind, they're not.
it's a four-way. I'm trying to remember what the fourth team was. It's gotta be them.
We could just look up the match card right now.
That is true.
Hmm. Yeah, who knows? If hard to pick, fine. The Cesaro and Kid is retaining. I really don't care. I don't care about the tag team division because WWE is gonna go nowhere with them anyway. They did a similar thing to this back in 2012 No Way Out, where they made a four-man tag team match just to say, hey, we do have a tag team division, and it was actually a pretty good tag team match, fatal four-way, whatever. But they eventually went nowhere with that. And I don't think they're gonna do anything after this WrestleMania anyway. You know, I really don't
Yeah,
care.
probably gonna
Um,
repackage them again.
yeah, exactly. Honestly, if you ask me, look at the way Sin Cara is booked in NXT and look at the way he's booked in WWE. You could tell just the differences in the creativity that's being put into NXT and the differences that they're putting him in WWE. It's real weird how the WWE doesn't know how to put their superstars, and NXT actually does. This is proof that Triple H should just take over the company by now. Next match, next match. Do you want to pick this one?
Oh yeah, I got the list coming down right now. WrestleMania 31 match card,
Mm-hmm.
and this is from WWE.com, the source. of
The sauce.
yes, that's sauce.
uh, Go ahead. Give me the list.
The list is
It's loading or what?
it's loading, and of
Okay.
course Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns pops up first.
No, let's go
But
from first to.
we're saving that for last.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, it is. It's a new day,
Huh. Yeah. Look at that. They are.
but just to clarify things for the people, the pre-show is the tag team match and the Andre the Giant challenge. Wait, kickoff.
So basically, 2 matches for the pre-show,
I'm
huh?
wondering if the kickoff is the pre-show or yeah, that's what they call the pre-show. So there's gonna be two pre-show matches.
Hmm. Kickoff is a pre-show.
Yeah, they
Wait.
changed the name from
Oh.
pre-show to kickoff.
Huh. Look at that.
But
Um.
anyway, it's Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, the WWE Tag Team Champions, of course, versus the Usos, versus the Los Matadors, versus Kofi Kingston and Big E.
Hmm. Okay. So yeah, it's yeah, Cesaro and Kid's gonna retain.
Don't understand, don't care. Okay, so the next match we're gonna talk about, which we are really already went in depth anyway, but who do you think's gonna win? Bella's or AJ and Paige?
I personally hope the the Bellas lose and never show up on my TV again.
Moving on, we got Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins.
Wait, who do you see winning?
I see Seth Rollins winning because they gotta build him up.
I meant Paige and AJ Lee.
Oh, Paige and AJ Lee. I say Paige and AJ Lee as well. They're gonna build up both of them and give the belt. I believe Paige is gonna become Divas champion again. And then they're gonna do another AJ and Paige feud with the Bellas on the side.
Hmm. Yeah, look forward to it. Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton. What?
Yeah. Yeah, what do
You see
you?
Seth
I was
Rollins
going
winning?
on down the list of predictions. Which one do you think? Who do you think is gonna win? Seth Rollins or Randy Orton?
You did say they gotta build up Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And yeah, from what I've seen, like even on the WWE Network, they had this little quote unquote exclusive interview on Randy Orton, and he was saying, "Oh, if Seth Rollins beats me, then there's no denying it. He is the future." And they were constantly comparing him to like a second generation Randy Orton, which is,
Yeah.
which I really think it's really true in a lot of ways because of the way they
Mhm.
both started out. And personally, seeing that little quote unquote exclusive interview did make me want to see this match even more than I already did. And now that with what you said and with that interview and just knowing how WWE, I think I think they're gonna make the right move, and I think they're gonna have Seth Rollins win this match. And with any luck, it'll be a clean win with a good match.
Mhm.
So yeah, Seth Rollins for the win. I expect a very good show about this. And you said uh uh
Um. Um.
you said
Um.
Seth Rollins. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's cool.
Uh,
It's cool. It's all good. It's all good in the podcast hood. Anyhow. Um.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next match.
Next. Rusev versus John Cena for some reason the United States Championship.
Ooh. Well, there isn't really point
You
to having.
seen you seen the end of Raw, right? I mean, I shouldn't say the end of Raw. You seen the end of their segment of
I
Raw
I don't remember the segment. I really
where
don't.
Rusev tosses around John Cena,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And then for
takes
once he
off the
wasn't.
announcement table just to put him in the camel clutch on top of the announcement table.
It's not like he was gonna put him through a power bomb.
You
Oh no.
usually expect somebody to break an announcement table when they take it apart.
Talk about a disappointment.
If he was just gonna
Um,
hug his face, on the announcement table. There was no point in taking it apart. They could have just said, "All right, Cena, get up here."
I don't
Yeah,
get why they, every time they have a little table segment, even if it's just to slam their face on the table, they have to take apart the table nowadays. Back then,
yeah.
they could just throw them over the table.
Well, we
We
keep
could
forgetting
still,
that WWE is a little low on money. All right, don't break the merchandise now. Take it
I
apart.
don't,
All
I
right, get
don't,
up here.
I don't get what difference it makes anymore.
Yeah,
But
same here.
whatever. They're
Like
that's what they're gonna do.
for example, to add on to that, remember Hell in a Cell during Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose,
I did.
where
What happened?
pretty much
They both fell
you
onto
can
the
you
table,
can see
correct?
Michael Cole taking apart the announcement table, and they're like,
Don't.
oh, and you can tell because Dean Ambrose looks down like, oh, it's ready to come out, it's ready to break now. All right, time to Geronimo. He just jumps. He doesn't even when him and Seth Rollins are fighting on top of the cage. I wouldn't say up top. I say quarter way up. They were Seth Rollins. He literally drops, but Dean Ambrose literally just freaking cannonballs cowabunga style. That it was
Uh,
pretty funny to see that.
okay. Yeah, I know Dean Ambrose. He probably did do that. But onto that, what is the point in moving the table? Like honestly, they literally just.
They don't want to break the merchant.
I
Don't break
know.
this.
Other than Cena, nobody's actually even careful with the monitors or nothing, and that's really the only thing I can envision them trying to actually protect. But even then, like you'll see like wrestlers, like even Cena included, he'll throw the monitor down to the floor and he'll just like whatever, and it makes no sense because then they put them through the table and everything ends up being broken regardless. So exactly is the point in doing that anymore? It's just shameless waste of like 2 seconds that we could be watching something extra fun.
This is the commercialized mainstream wrestling era for the WWE that we're living in right now. Everything is pinpointed, mostly everything. I won't say everything because there are accidents, don't get me wrong, but they try to keep the WWE as commercialized as possible.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Um.
like
It's not that big of a deal. It's just like why? It really. It's just like how you brought it up. Rusev basically gives Cena the accolade onto the table and he removes it.
and
What?
he removes the equipment just just probably because so they won't in case Rusev gets a little loopy and slips on the
just
camera and breaks it or
just
something.
just for that. We're not bitching here. We're just really curious as to why
Yeah,
that is.
that's how it is now. Yeah. Any like
Okay.
yeah. Who do you see win? Do you think Cena is gonna pull off a typical Super Cena moment and defeat Rusev, making him not undefeated anymore, or do you see Rusev coming out on top?
That's what everyone's saying, that Cena's just gonna bury him at WrestleMania, but uh,
I don't know.
uh
It would not make any sense for him to become United States
he will
champion.
accomplish nothing out of winning, but at the same time,
Who is he
knowing
gonna defend?
WWE.
Who is he gonna defend the belt against? Unless Daniel Bryan becomes Intercontinental Championship and they go against each other for a unification match.
And then what? They have Brie Bella on one side and Nikki Bella on the other. No, it's just gonna be one of those, and it's gonna be like the Raw versus SmackDown at WrestleMania
No,
28,
it's gonna
or
be Brie on one side and Nikki and Vince on the other side.
and Nikki. Oh yeah, exactly. And and then Nikki Bella is gonna be introducing John Cena, and Brie Bella introducing Daniel Bryan, and um.
And Vince is like, you better win, man.
I don't want to see John Cena as the United States champion, but I damn sure don't want to see Daniel Bryan as the United States champion either. They're gonna rehash that storyline just for fuck's sake of it. Um, um, Yeah, I don't think I don't
You don't
with
see
any,
you don't see Rusev winning.
I don't want to say that, but I just don't see WWE giving this one to Cena. I think Rusev's gonna win. As hard as that is gonna be to envision, maybe it won't be clean. Maybe it will be some sort of dirty tactic like they did at Fastlane. But with any luck, Rusev will win cleanly, and hopefully we'll see Cena at least not even tap out. You don't have to see him tap out, just him fade or whatever, like every other superstar. If you ask me, I think Jack Swagger would be the perfect candidate for ending Rusev's streak. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for saying that, but who better? This will be a perfect storyline. I've tried and tried again, and you know what? After a while, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna prevail. It's just like the Sami Zayn versus Adrian Neville. Nobody really disliked that one because they had so many matches. They had a lot of very good matches, and you know what?
Mm.
I think Rusev versus Swagger could make sense. They could save that if they have a good 20-minute back and forth fast paced match, and if Swagger wins, kudos to him. I think that's personally who I see it happening. And if it's not going to happen at WrestleMania, then hopefully at SummerSlam, because that is WrestleMania in the summer, basically. So, yeah, that's what I that's what I think should happen. I think Rusev should win.
All right. So now with that, we've got three more matches to discuss. And then we will close and say our goodbyes and whatnot. But for now, let's talk about. Let's see. Let's see. Do I want to see? All right. Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt.
Oh, I don't know actually.
The 0-1 versus the 21-1. Now, I got a message from Josh not too long ago saying
Josh,
that he predicts that
Wrestle Bases,
Undertaker's
Josh.
yes, he said
Okay.
saying that Undertaker is gonna be 21-2 after WrestleMania.
Okay.
Do you believe that Undertaker will be 21-2 at WrestleMania?
This one, I don't even have a prediction. I'm just gonna watch the match and see what happens
And just
because
see what
I don't know what to believe anymore.
I for my prediction, because I have a smart prediction, I feel like Undertaker is gonna go in this match and then afterwards solidify his streak. Like even though he lost once, he's gonna go against somebody that everybody looks up to in a match that everybody wanted to see. And then after that match at WrestleMania 32, he's gonna retire. I think WrestleMania 32 is gonna be the Undertaker's last WrestleMania
Yeah,
competing. And
yeah.
I'm not saying who I believe it is because I'm gonna leave what I'm trying to say once I talk about the next match.
Hmm. Well, I think if Undertaker is truthfully going to retire, and I certainly hope he does, I just feel bad for the poor man. If he's to retire at WrestleMania 32, I hope he does what Ric Flair does, and he just sort of has one last match, even if it's not a career match, just one last match, and then he also gets inducted that same year. There would be no better way to have the Undertaker ride off into the sunset in my eyes.
All right, so are you ready to talk about the second to last match?
Second to last match, what is it?
Triple H versus Sting.
Sting. I see Sting winning.
Of course, Sting did not come to the WWE to lose to Triple H. Let's be real now. Let's be real now.
Yeah,
We all know it's not gonna happen.
he's not Rob Van Dam and he's not Chris Jericho.
As bad as he wants to be. This is the guy who created NXT. I should say, I'm sorry, revamped NXT. I'm sorry. But come on now. This is Sting we're talking about. WCW, the franchise, stayed in TNA just to stay with his family, didn't want to wrestle full time. Now finally gets his opportunity to come to WWE, do his schedule that he wants to do,
Hmm.
and his first opponent is Triple H. Triple H wanted this W. Even Triple H himself probably knew he was. I'm not gonna be. Sting isn't gonna come here knowing that I want to beat the shit out of him. That's not gonna happen. So,
Yeah. Triple H is smartened up, so
yeah, Sting is gonna win, obviously. But
Mhm.
this goes to my prediction. Sting is gonna probably beat Triple H, and then that is when Undertaker is gonna challenge him as his final opponent.
Hmm. Okay, so you think Sting's gonna wrestle Undertaker at WrestleMania 32?
I believe WrestleMania 32 is gonna be Sting versus Undertaker. It's like WrestleMania 32 is gonna be the WrestleMania 18 of this generation. It's gonna be like the last generation the WrestleMania where all the older wrestlers slowly start to slip into the background and give it to the younger generation. Finally, because we thought that WrestleMania 28 was gonna be the WrestleMania 18, but it didn't happen because
Mm.
Cena is still there. But now, as
Mm.
you can see, Cena is slowly starting to slip into the background, and
Yeah.
they're slowly
Yeah.
starting to give it to the younger generation. So I think WrestleMania 32 is gonna be the true
Mhm.
his repeat of WrestleMania 18. I believe it's going to be Undertaker versus Sting, Rock versus Lesnar, so far and so on. They may even add Triple H in that match for a triple threat because Triple H likes to get added into matches like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and everyone's been wanting to see not only Rock versus Lesnar, but also Rock versus Triple H. So that'll be good.
But I think that Sting is going to beat Triple H and then go on to other things. But that's just my opinion. It may not happen. Sting. Who knows? Triple H might beat Sting and shock the world, but we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah. Nah, I see Sting winning. So
Okay. So
moving
you
on.
talk about the final match.
Brock Lesnar
Brock Lesnar.
versus Roman Reigns.
Believe that.
I see Brock Lesnar winning and then Seth Rollins cashing in.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying, which is why I doubt it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Mm.
WWE doesn't like predictability unless they're the ones to do it.
That's amazingly true. Um, I see Brock Lesnar winning overall.
Yeah, since you did hear how he signed a multi-year contract to the
Yep,
WWE, right?
multi years. So
Yeah. So, yep, that pretty much confirmed that Brock Lesnar will be winning this match.
mm, who do you
There,
think? Oh God.
but yeah, you're going because what I'm saying next will probably tie into what you're about to say.
I was just gonna ask, who do you think's gonna beat Brock Lesnar if he does win anyway?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
Oh, okay.
there's rumors going around that Paul Heyman might
Betray.
he may either betray Brock Lesnar, which I doubt because Brock Lesnar is his success,
Mm,
and there's no reason for him to turn on Brock Lesnar because he's the money maker. But
mm,
what he might do is Brock Lesnar might get bored with being WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
mm.
So Seth Rollins might pay him off for Lesnar just to purposely just hand him the belt and just become a Paul Heyman guy.
Oh, okay. So they suddenly have a match, and then it'll be like Kevin Nash versus whoever he faced,
Yeah,
and then
the
it'll be
finger poke
finger
of
poke of death, and
WWE's finger poke of doom. Let's
uh,
God, I hope that doesn't happen, but
nah. If I know WWE, they're probably gonna like try to wiggle around it and make it like a fucking, you know, Seth Rollins scratching Brock Lesnar or whatever.
hmm
There you go, finished. I don't see anything else happening really.
same here. Well, we're
Yeah.
just gonna have to see. Well, that is our predictions, ladies and gentlemen.